Hello, everyone. This is Mike History 2, and welcome to a collaboration that I am once again doing with my friend Julius Caesar, who, by the way, you should check out and subscribe to. And today, the topic is what if the Axis powers were less evil? So, to clarify, we're not saying that they were moral in real life. The brutal atrocities committed by the Germans and Japanese were unforgivable, and both countries were punished for their crimes. Comments supporting nations such as Nazi Germany or Imperial Japan will be completely deleted from both his and my channel. Now, we're also not talking about an Axis victory in World War II. In fact, we're not even implying that there would be a World War II, a war that could definitely be blocked if the Axis weren't as hell-bent on domination. However, if there is one, we're not even saying that everyone would be on the same side. Perhaps some countries switch alliances. Anyways, let's get started. So, how does this scenario work? How can we create a timeline where the Axis are more moral? Well, we can start off in 1932, where a military coup d'etat occurs in Japan, but it is blocked by the Japanese emperor, and he creates a compromise between both factions, enshrining the Japanese nation as it should be. Now, before you think that this is just some random event, there actually was a coup in Japan in 1932. And so we're starting off with a pretty realistic, plausible starting point. Now, in 1936, following an attack on Japanese tourists from a local warlord in China, the Japanese government sends an ultimatum to their supposed owner: either govern their territory well or die. Meanwhile, the Germans still take Austria after a referendum. Now, 2 years later, in 1938, following the attempted German takeover of Czechoslovakia, Hitler is removed from power. However, the United Kingdom and France still declare war on Germany, and so Czechoslovakia crumbles within a week. However, despite this slight change, the main change is that Hitler is no longer in power, and as you'll see over time, this does affect quite a lot. Now, just as in our timeline, though, the phony war breaks out, and it gives the Germans time to prepare, since neither the British nor the French would want to fight anyways. Now, during 1939, on March 27th, Germany invades Belgium, the Netherlands, and France, and overruns them in a week. They also invade Norway and Denmark, taking Norway by the end of April. On the 16th of April, the retreating British are massacred at Dunkirk since the evacuation was too slow. Because of this, the British government sues for peace to avoid further losses, and by May 1st, France surrenders as well, losing Alsace-Lorraine. The British and French are forced to rescind the Treaty of Versailles and allow German domination of Europe. They're also forced to hand back all former German territories overseas, such as Namibia, Tanzania, Togo, Cameroon, New Guinea, etc. They also take Belgian Congo from Belgium. Now, on September 1st, meanwhile, Italy begins its pathetic invasion of Greece, but of course needs German help to win. However, in this timeline, the Germans respond by saying that they aren't conquerors. Therefore, Italy loses Albania to Greece and is humiliated. Following this, the German government intervenes within Italy, forcing them to cede Südtirol and reinstall the Italian monarchy, effectively deposing Mussolini. Now, the following year, 1940, on the 23rd of March, Germany still invades the Soviet Union because they were both competing for influence within Poland. Now remember, in this time, Poland hasn't been taken yet. Poland joins Germany, however, and they both invade the country since they see Soviet Union as a greater threat. Now, although winter begins to set in, they reach Moscow by October, successfully taking the city right before winter really kicks in. Stalin, who had stayed in the city, is captured and executed, and because of this, the Soviet Union is dissolved. Many Eastern European countries are given nominal independence in the peace treaty as recognition for siding against the Soviets, leading to borders that are more similar to today's border, although Russia is much, much smaller. Japanese support also allows them to gain Vladivostok and Sakhalin. They also take Indochina from France. However, unlike in our timeline, they do not expand any further. So I know that this might be a little confusing, so let's look at an overall view of the border changes in World War II. So in Europe, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth is recreated with the states of Poland, Lithuania, Belarus, and Ukraine. However, in this case, they are not a monarchy and are not a single country. However, they are all under Polish domination. Estonia and Livonia come under German influence meanwhile, but they remain independent. Now, in exchange for territorial gain, Poland hands over the area given to it by Germany in World War I so that Germany can be reconnected. Poland also becomes highly influenced by Germany. In the Caucasus, meanwhile, 5 new nations are created: the Don Republic, Cuban Republic, no, not that one, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Georgia. They are all allied, but not influenced by Germany. Belgium and Luxembourg are annexed directly by Germany, while the Netherlands, Norway, and Denmark become puppet states. France, as previously stated, hands over Alsace-Lorraine and Italy, South Tyrol. Now, Russia is reduced in size and is very angered at the Axis, but is too weak to do anything. Once again in Africa, Belgian Congo is taken since Belgium itself is annexed. The United Kingdom and France return Togoland, Cameroon, Tanzania, and Namibia, and the United Kingdom is forced to hand over the Suez Canal to Egypt. And because of this, Egypt becomes an ally of Germany. Meanwhile, in Asia, Japan creates puppet governments in Manchukuo and Mengjiang. Indochina is conquered by Japan from France and is a puppet as well. Japan takes Vladivostok and Sakhalin from Russia, and the Coral Islands are recognized as Japanese territory. So, what will happen next? Well, it's up to you to find out.